Well, hello there. Rob Jastrzebski with RJ Homes and eXp Realty here. And today I have something super special for you to see. This home behind me is a custom-built, one-of-a-kind, absolutely spectacular property. We are located at 125 Crimson Leaf Estates. We're just east of Sherwood Park, basically just a couple minutes east on Highway, I think it's 628. It's the White Mud extension, just east of Highway 21, 2 minutes and you're here. This is an absolutely spectacular subdivision full of executive properties, just like this one. We're situated here on just a little under 3 acres property. It is exquisitely professionally landscaped throughout. You'll notice as we go through the video, it's absolutely stunning back there, full of natural beauty and privacy to boot. So let's go in and have a look. So today, we're gonna do something a little bit different. This home is so special, I thought I'd actually have the homeowner himself explain some of the details of the home itself. So this is Rob Salvalaggio. Did I say that correctly?
Pretty close, you got it.
Pretty close. He's the president of Salvi Homes. For those of you who don't know, Salvi Homes is a prominent home builder here in Sherwood Park. Oh, going on 50 years, I think since 1975, correct?
Yeah, 46 years this year, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. So when Rob went to build his own dream home, he really put a lot of thought and planning into it, starting with some of these incredible features. As you can tell, right in the middle of the front of the home, we've got this beautiful koi pond. And there were some challenges with that. Why don't you go ahead and explain that?
Yeah, there was a few challenges. So, well, first off, it's, I think, roughly 600 US gallons of water, which is right in the middle of the span here for the foyer.
That's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight, yeah. That was probably the biggest thing to overcome. So we have a couple of girder trusses which actually span either side. And one of the things that's not super obvious is in order to get enough water for the fishes to swim down when they wanted to, this actually drops into the floor system here too. So there's actually a torsion box which is kind of built flush that you can't really see. So the basement ceiling's all flush too.
Yeah, we'll see that later in the video, but yeah, the basement ceiling, you would never know that there was anything different up here. So it's very well designed. Now, moving on, we've got some beautiful features with some amazing wood, and take a look at this staircase. We've only got the one single support. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about that.
That was an extreme challenge. I actually had a really hard time finding someone willing to build it in the first place.
Really?
Most people told me it was pretty much impossible. If you look down here, more or less everybody wanted to put a center support down, which I felt kind of ruined the look of it, right? This was supposed to be more of like a piece of art, if you will, like a centerpiece. And I think once you get some of the views, like from the basement and from above, you'll kind of see what that is all about. But we were able to overcome it by incorporating structural steel into the floor system. So what you don't see is there's actually a piece of steel that extends into the center stringer, you know, up to here someplace. And then there's a giant floor plate piece of steel which bolts into the floor system. That's all hidden beneath this tile here and all ties into the beams. And
then I imagine there's a piece of steel up there as well?
Yeah, same thing on the bottom and the top. And then there's actually a giant beam that comes across this wall, which kind of ties in the garage. But that was all kind of, yeah, it's all concealed and flush mount beams, if you will, so you don't really see what's going on there.
Absolutely gorgeous. Now, what about the wood itself? That looks pretty interesting. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, there's, I think, maybe roughly 2,000 board feet, maybe even more actually, of African wenge. So took many months. We imported, quite a few loads in just to build this stuff, but pretty much all the hardwood in the house it's all custom crafted by us. So our shop did all the doors, cabinetry. We supplied all the millwork for the stairs. Pond bench, we built all that in our custom shop.
Incidentally, all the doors in here are solid core doors. They're all 8 feet tall, and they all have the ball bearing hinges throughout.
So yeah, all the mortise and tenon joints are all pegged as well. So like, if the glue were ever to fail on this joint, which it really shouldn't, but if it were to, there's actually a structural member that goes across that kind of joins all these together. So little details like that you don't really see.
Yeah, all the way up, completely custom doors, custom frames, and then of course every door is solid core. You can really feel the solid piece here. And then you've got ball bearing hinges here on every door throughout, and all the doors, interior doors, are 8 feet tall. Also, maybe something we could discuss is the tile floors here. They're pretty amazing in themselves.
Yeah, so they're all oversized, so 1.5 by 3 feet, 18 by 36. Porcelain tile, so it's basically a faux travertine. We didn't want the maintenance of travertine and having to seal it all the time and deal with that, but we also wanted the look of it, so we were able to source this stuff, which to me looks almost identical to real travertine, but doesn't have the maintenance to it.
But doesn't have the maintenance to it. Perfect, absolutely. So moving on, we'll just pan over to the living room area here, and we've got some pretty amazing fireplace feature wall here. Maybe you can explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was another challenge actually, just because of the height. So I think it's, I don't know, maybe 12 feet from bottom to top, and so that's 1.25 inch solid slab granite wall on both sides. Other than that, we kind of wanted to conceal some of the audio-visual components too. So we wanted a clean look because the home is kind of styled after a prairie style. So we wanted something that was timeless, fairly clean. So we kind of decided to hide everything.
Everything's all nicely concealed here. You've got cabinets right on the side with all the audio visual. So here we are in this absolutely amazing kitchen. Again, all custom crafted right at your shop at Salvi Homes, correct?
You bet, yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the challenges with this particular kitchen and what makes it a little bit different than your typical craftsmanship kitchens.
Yeah, sure. So it's, again, all Wenge. I guess what I didn't mention earlier is everything in the house is just a clear finish on it. So this is actually the natural color of the wood. The finish on it throughout is a conversion varnish. So it's a two-part catalyzed conversion varnish, which actually provides excellent water resistance. So you could actually soak some of these doors and drawers in water for, a period of a day, and the finish wouldn't peel. It's a much longer lasting finish. There's just some other smaller details, like, in here there's maple inlaid splines, which actually adds to the strength of these miter joints. Just little things like that.
Great idea.
You might not see otherwise. It's a built-in recycling center, and there's soft close hardwood maple drawers throughout.
And then, of course, you've got full granite counters, all one piece, and quite an intricate design here on the island. You can notice that there's granite backsplash along the back of the kitchen, as well as all the extra transom windows at the top of the kitchen cabinets, which is really nice because it brings in all that extra natural light with no privacy issues.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's pretty beautiful. Continuing on with this amazing design, we're in here in this dining room. Look at the size of this dining room. It's absolutely amazing. You've got this beautiful window that's just, again, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Maybe you can explain a little bit about the windows and then up at the ceiling, those beautiful beams.
Yeah, I think in general, we kind of wanted to bring the outdoors in. So, whenever we could take advantage of the natural surroundings out back, we really wanted to be able to see that. This is like such a beautiful view from here, right? So why not take advantage? That was part of it. As far as the roof goes, these are all actually structural timbers, which you don't see too often nowadays. Quite often those are faux, but this is actually the roof structure that you're looking at.
Right, it's not just a decoration.
Right, and there was a few challenges with that as well, in terms of making it the style of roof that it was and carrying the load the way it is. So there's one center member which everything kind of ties into, but it's all old growth fir. Yeah, we imported that from BC and had a designer out there work on that design, and then we stained them and finished them and kind of prefabbed them in our shop, and then basically assembled this whole roof on the ground and then craned it up as one piece. So all the insulation is actually exterior via SIP panel.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, so now let's go over and have a look at the upstairs of the home, which is really a unique feature here. Incidentally, all you have upstairs is the master bedroom and a loft with an office area. So let's go in and have a look at this upper level.
It's another timber roof similar to what you see in the dining room. So there's 3 of those structures. There's the one in the dining room, one here. This is incidentally my favorite. And then there's actually another little one over top of the pond that you might not see at first.
So here we are at your office, and again, beautiful craftsmanship, full of built-ins. Office is ready made, no furniture required. This all stays. So maybe you can kind of explain a little bit of what you have here.
Yeah, lots of extra storage, I guess. Similar finish throughout, as I was explaining in the kitchen earlier. Lots of file drawers. There's, I think, 2 file drawers in each one of these cabinets. So just tons and tons of storage, right? Beyond that, there's, quite a nice view from up here. If somebody gets bored of working, they can stare at the trees.
Wow.
So.
Gorgeous desk. This is incidentally the perfect home if you wanted to spend a lot of time working from home. As we know, that's kind of the thing these days. So if you're one of those lucky people that get to work from home, just imagine yourself working in this space. Let's continue on to the master bedroom. And again, we've got lots of built-ins. Right here behind you, we've got a nice little bar area. So you can have the convenience of having your drinks right here in the master bedroom and you don't even have to go downstairs. So maybe you can explain a little bit about what you've done here with this fireplace.
Yeah, so it's kind of a contemporary styled fireplace, but the slate I think makes it a little more traditional, if you will. So it's maybe a bit of a blend of styles there. A wraparound Wenge fireplace, and then the built-in TV above, which is actually home run too. There's some of the components, AV components, are all underneath here as well.
So walking into the ensuite here, a little bit of extra special features here. Again, we've got this center tub that kind of mimics that koi pond downstairs. Maybe you can explain a little bit of what your thoughts was behind this design.
Again, we're trying to make sort of the architecture and the furniture and that kind of stand forward, right? So that was kind of the idea of making this a centerpiece, then with having a waterfall tile wall behind it.
And then you've got a skylight right above to allow a lot more natural light. You can see this amazing shower here. Maybe you can explain a little bit about the shower. What was your thoughts there?
Yeah, the shower is one of my favorite parts actually, just because it's big and open and walk through. I didn't want to have the doors. I just wanted to have it kind of have an open, airy feeling, right?
Yeah, it's actually really amazing. If we get a chance, we're gonna pan down and show you the floor itself. It's really nicely done with some natural stone. So it almost feels like you're having a massage on your feet while you're just having a shower. And you've got some more transom windows in there, a nice bench, multiple shower heads. So very nice.
Sure. Anywhere we could bring the natural light in and or the outdoors in was really our goal.
So now that we're back in the ensuite here, you'll notice it's got this absolutely gorgeous vanity. Again, hard to mistake this for nothing other than custom built. You can see that we've got the full granite top, all one piece, and custom built drawers. One thing I wanted to also point out that we do have in-floor heating in this ensuite, including in the shower. So while you're getting a massage on your feet while you're having a shower, you're also having those feet cozy warm. So moving downstairs, again, we're walking down this beautiful staircase. And again, now over here, we're down in the basement, and it really looks a lot more like the upstairs because we are in a walkout basement. And looking up from right here, this is the most amazing view, looking up at the staircase all the way up to that beautiful woodworking beams in the ceiling. I'm guessing that's one of your special designs that I'm guessing you're pretty proud of.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite views in the house, just because you get a view of so many different architectural pieces in one view.
Absolutely agreed. And then again, we've got, actually it's hard to tell that this is a basement because it is a walkout basement. As you can tell, we've got full access to the backyard here. And one of the features I wanted to showcase a little bit here, maybe you can explain how you came up with this design for your gym area.
I guess I just wanted some open space where, I like to train in the martial arts, so I wanted some open area where you can kind of move around and that sort of thing. And yeah.
Full access to the backyard.
Also, yeah, exactly. You can walk out here, so there's multiple places where you can walk out from the basement, which is nice.
Absolutely. Now, couldn't agree more. This would be a great place to have a workout. Now, of course, this is all wired for audio visual. We've got speakers throughout the whole house, and we've got in-floor heating in the whole basement here, and this is all hydronic in-floor heating, right?
It is, yeah. It's a geothermal system, so the basement is all water-to-water hydronic heating, whereas the entire house has an air system as well, so there's recirculating air. But the basement slab and as well as the shop is all heated with hydronic heating.
Right.
To that point, what you don't see underneath the slab is it's actually a thickened slab. So we did some earthwork here. That was all engineered, and the entire basement concrete slab is also reinforced with rebar, which is fairly atypical for a walkout.
Right, right. And I'm guessing you probably have just a few piles underneath the home?
There is a few piles throughout. There's also, oh God, I think thousands of feet of boreholes for the geothermal system as well in the backyard there. I'd have to look up that number, but there's a lot of them.
So speaking of geothermal, I don't know if a lot of the people even understand just the benefits of the geothermal. So we're going to go ahead and showcase a little bit of that in the utility room. But while we do that, maybe you can explain what are the benefits of geothermal versus regular heating.
Yeah, well, it's a little more efficient. I mean, you pay a little bit more for the infrastructure up front, you know, just to get everything in the ground, so to speak. But it is a very comfortable heat, that's for sure. You know, the home is very well insulated too, but that aside, there's virtually no gas bills other than for running the fireplace and or the stove. So yeah, it's definitely some savings there for sure.
Yeah, on a larger home like this, it sure is nice not to have a gas bill. So we're going to go in and showcase a little bit of the amazing infrastructure we've got here as far as all the utility room furnaces and geothermal and hot water heating. So let's go in and have a look at that. Maybe you can explain a few things in there. So here we are in the utility room. We're going to start off with the most interesting piece right off the bat, and that's the geothermal system. So maybe you can explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the hydronic portion of it. So this does the entire basement and the shop and shed out on the other side of the house here. So there's two components to it. The other part is the air to water system right here. So that's basically forced air. It also circles air in the basement as well, just to help move some of the air around, keep a healthy environment, if you will. Beyond that, it's also an HRV which is tied in. So even with a 600-gallon, you know, pond in the middle of my foyer, there's no issues with condensation or anything throughout the winter because it's always circling the air as required.
So HRV, so heat recovery ventilation system, so it always keeps the air clean and at the same time it keeps it efficient because you've got cold air on one side coming in from the outdoors while you've got the warm stale air going out on the other side of the fins so that there's a temperature exchange there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and they kind of interconnect exactly, so it steals some of the outgoing heat, if you will. So.
Yeah, so much more efficient.
Yeah, there's also built-in irrigation.
Oh, right, yeah,
too, so.
built-in irrigation outside so you can keep your small acreage looking great.
Yeah.
Most acreages don't have irrigation systems.
Also feeds the indoor planter underneath the stairs there as well. So there's actually irrigation inside to make it low maintenance as well.
No, there's something new. And then of course we've got the whole pumping system for the in-floor heating for the whole home as well as the shop.
Yeah, you bet.
Perfect. And then there is the part of the HRV system, the electrical system. Of course, we already discussed the air-to-air exchanger in lieu of a regular furnace. And then behind the camera here, we've got dual hot water tanks and a softener system so that you're set. Nobody's ever going to run out of hot water here.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay, and here we are at the back of the property, and I just wanted to showcase the beautiful detail on all the different roof lines. Absolutely integral part of this design. And you can see all the stonework and the beautiful deck as well as the pergola. And then of course this property is absolutely gorgeous as far as the way it's been landscaped. But it was not always like that, so maybe you can explain a little bit about the challenges of what you had to work with here.
Yeah, sure. Initially, we actually had a really steep drop-off, and the county had sort of staged this area as undevelopable, so they actually didn't want me to put the house here. It was maybe destined to be way back here in the trees, and I guess we didn't really feel like it fit the lot all that well, so we had a few engineering challenges there in terms of engineering the dirt. We brought in a whole bunch of fill to try and make the grading work a little better. Everything actually turned out really well in that regard, whereas you get some sort of gentle rolling hill here. Everything slopes away from the property really good, and then it hits this dry creek. So this is all kind of growing in over time, but we actually trenched in this dry creek bed here from one side of the property to the other. And there's only about 1% grade from one end to the other, but it's enough that everything kind of, all the water runs away into this creek, and then it slowly trickles out of the property from there. So.
Gentle slope, really nice. And then of course, as you can tell, we've got almost like a golf green over here. So the reason why it's so beautiful is because you've got that irrigation system. So it's really nicely done. What about the rear design of the home? What were your thoughts there when you were designing this home?
Well, in general, it's sort of a prairie-style home, so I would say it's maybe Frank Lloyd Wright inspired, but there's also maybe a little bit of a Asian inspiration with the roof lines and the Polynesian roof trusses. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Gorgeous home, and of course you can tell it's got the acrylic stucco, so it's built to last. And on that note, I just wanted to wrap it up. Thank you very much for taking the time to take a look at this video. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to call me direct on my cell at 780-222-8222. Of course, you can always reach me by email, rob@rjhomes.ca. And remember, please share this video because you never know, it could be the perfect home for one of your friends.